So to run a flight without Lance or outside the US, this will work the same. If you've got a flight ops view or a quick flight, these are the same. They're just a little bit different setup. You can select flight ops, and then you would start a mission. This is if you're doing a mission that has not been planned. So the person logged in is automatically the pilot. So you can set a mission name. I'm just deleting this. If I tap on it 3 times, I get the same thing. So Las Vegas. You can add a visual observer. And these are checkboxes because you can have more than one. Now, customer and project, in this case, it's a tumbler if it exists in the system. But if you want to add a new one, you can actually use the plus button here to create a new project. And it can do it locally, and then it will create it on the server side. You would select the drone. Select this one. And if you've got a QR code, you can scan it by using the QR code. Okay, I'm going to cancel out. So pre-flight docs are checklists. I can add a pre-flight doc. You can have an item passed, not passed, or not applicable. You can add to the list, and you can see it's added. There's additional information available. You can select a flight type. This will be a test flight, and assign instructors or other payload operators. You can add notes for the staff, assign a battery or batteries, and you can also add notes for the batteries. Okay, so equipment would be your payload that you're adding. So I can add the GoPro. And legal rule and legal detail are if you've got, in the US it's 107 in COA, that's how I'm registered on the site right now. But if it's a waiver around the world, you can decide it's the waiver and then put the waiver rule in whichever one you're flying under. So then when you start the mission, you've got the ability to add in-flight checklists and add a note in flight. And then when you're done with the mission, or as many flights as you're going, you would finish the mission. Now the timer doesn't do anything. This is just for your edification to figure out how long you've been flying. When you finish the mission, you can add post-mission checklists. Once again, I'll just set it like that. And then any incident docs. You can also add post-mission notes. So the single-person flight is if you've got a rule internally to track whether they're solo flights or that has to be in pairs. This is just for some organizations that need it. So what happens then is you would save the flight or mission. So you can go to the DJI sync if you're flying a DJI. You could do a flight sync if you're flying one of the drones that automatically syncs, or one of the flight operations tools, ground stations that syncs with us, or there's no telemetric sync. So if you have a DJI, you would click DJI sync. You'd select the date back to when you want to bring in the flights. So in this case, I actually don't have any. I'll go back to May, and you'll see a list of the flights on that date come in. So let's select July 5th, upload the flights, and now this will import the DJI flights from the DJI cloud. So now I don't have any flights on today, but with the system, you can go back in time and select the date. So I'm going to go back to July 5th. That was the date on there, and you'll see the 3 flights that I just brought in. I can now assign those, and what it will do is it will take all the information from the front end that you had, checklists, pilot, mission type, batteries, and equipment, and then assign it to these flights. If there is a disconnect, meaning you selected the drone and it's different from the telemetry, we will keep the telemetry as the correct data. So now when these flights are appended, they're brought into the system, and if we go to the desktop, you will see the flights brought in and ready to go in the system to be merged with the planned mission, if you have a planned mission.